What's up guys? Welcome back. My name is Urosh. Today we're taking a look at Two Lanes again and their song Transcend. I hope you liked what I did. They're super talented. So they're two brothers, Rafa and Leo. They come from Berlin and their music is really amazing. It's very deep, very emotional, kind of melancholic at times. I think we have some similar interest when it comes to music, especially the artist we take inspiration from. So this was really nice to make, and let's get straight into it, right? So we're at 90 BPMs, so this is quite a downtempo electronica, right? And before we start, let me just talk about the scale and the key of the track. We're in G Dorian, right? The track starts on a G minor chord, but we're actually in G Dorian scale, right? Because G minor has two flats. It has B flat and E flat, but the last chord in our progression is C major, so that tells us we're actually in G Dorian, right? So the scale is like this. We have G, A, B flat, then we have C, D, E, F, and G, right? That's our scale. And the chords of the track are G minor, right? Then B flat major, right? Then D minor, and then C major, right? Those are the chords of the track, but we don't actually hear the full chords in the track. But if you would, try to write a pad sound, those would be the chords you would use. So let's start the piano because the track starts with the piano, and we have this motif basically. It plays like this. Right. So the interesting thing about this piano melody is basically it's almost like a polyrhythm, right? Because you can see we have three notes on the top, and at the same time we're having two notes at the bottom. So the left hand plays two notes at the same time as the right hand plays three notes. So it's a bit different kind of rhythm. Also makes it a bit harder to play on the piano because as musicians our hands are kind of, they want to do stuff together, right? They want to do it simultaneously. But in this example, you are playing the right hand before you are playing the left hand, right? So that makes it a bit more harder to play. But yeah, I don't know if you can see the piano, and I think it lags pretty hard, right? It lags like it's. But yeah, basically you press this B flat before you press this D here, right? So you would play both hands together, then this one before. Right, it's super laggy, so it's I can only play it really slow because it's so laggy. But yeah, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. That's what makes this piano idea so interesting, because if you would have the same notes playing at the same time, it's not gonna sound as pretty, right? So that's something to keep in mind. And on the second part of the piano, we get this like we still have the same pattern in the left hand, but the right hand actually goes up and plays a little bit of the melody, right? So let's hear both parts because they're actually repeating. I don't know if you can see the whole sketch, but I marked this one in red, and yeah, they're basically repeating, right? So yeah, that's it for the piano. Again, a lot of their tracks are made from the piano. They also started doing the piano versions, which I think is super good. It kind of reminds me of Ola Furarans and his stuff. And yeah, we have the noise in the background playing throughout the whole track. And before I go anywhere else, let me just tell you that for the piano, I'm using Noire Pure, which is from Native Instruments. It's a collaboration with Nils Fram, if you know him. And yeah, I think they're using this plug. Obviously, in this track, they recorded the real piano, but I think they also have this VST. And this one, I used the emotional preset and some mechanical and felt noises behind it, some delay, some reverb, and yeah, that's it, I think, for the piano. Okay, so we have noise in the background, right? Throughout the whole track, added some OTT on it, and added some OTT to bring up the harmonics. Basically, you can't really hear anything. Like, it's like super quiet, right? If I would put it like so louder, you would hear it. But I put it -22, and you can see on the EQ that it's basically just like this stuff here playing. So I used ODT to bring up the higher frequencies as well. Some erosion, some main hall, some auto pan, and that's it. I also used a loop from Production Music Live called Weird Loop. I mean, it's not called Weird Loop. I called it Weird Loop, but yeah, it's just in the background to provide some interest and some motion. I also used the bassline, which is playing the chord notes, and from Diva, and it's basically playing like I told you. So it's playing G, B flat, D, and C, right? So together, all the intro. Okay, so the second part, like I told you, the piano repeats, but adds melody on the top. I also added the sticks, which are from Production Music Live, right? And you have to think about them in terms of drums. The drums are really subtle, right? The drums are not pumpy, they're not drivey, but it's very subtle, very tasteful, right? Those are the kind of words that I would think about when creating drums like them, right? So we have the kick, right? Also perc kick, which plays with the kick. It has this kind of rhythm. Right? Also bassline and the sticks. And before the drop, we are ducking down the bass, right? So the bass goes quiet and totally dies down. And then we get the toms in, the tom fills, which are playing just here. They're having a party. They're super subtle. If you listen to the original, it's almost like you can't hear them, but they're there. Yeah, we still have the sticks. We automate the shakers in, so we're using EQ8, right? Some erosion, some auto pan. And also I added the pad, but it's super subtle. It's from Diva and called Lush Pad. Just auto filtering in because I almost don't want it to be even noticeable or present in the mix. I just want it to be there to support the bass line, right? That's what I want. And I think, you know, if you listen to the original, it's like super subtle, right? And that's the same reason why I also used only almost like power chords, right? I used G doubled, so tonic doubled, and only the fifth, no thirds, right? Something that you would play on the, not accordion, the guitar, right? Okay, so there are also these rainy plucks are introduced. I actually did two variations of it, but I think this one is a bit better. I use Serum for it, and it's just like a basic analog sine wave, some hyper dimension and some delay, and some Saturn, and also this effect chain rack with the echo on it, right? So, and this is how it sounds. And basically the rhythm is kind of interesting, right? So it's, as you can see, it doesn't start at the exact, you know, beginning, but it has like this weird kind of motion to it. And but yeah, I think this one is kind of sounds closer to the original. We're still using the notes from the chords. And yeah, let's just hear it in context. So okay, so for the next part, as you can see on the top, we're adding the sordino strings. The drums stay the same, but we're adding like this clap, right? Super subtle clap. We're also adding shakers, right? Which are kind of going left and right, if you can hear it on your headphones. We're also adding some small hat, which is from Production Music Live Organica, and this is where I use most of the samples for this remake or tutorial. Right, it's super subtle, and like I told you, we're introducing the sordino strings, but I freeze this, so you know it is gonna play. But basically, sordino is basically a technique for string players where they play really softly. I think it's close to the bridge or something like that. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's a technique. That's what it makes it like this super subtle. And these are the notes. So we're on F5 going up. It's basically kind of following the rainy plugs. Let me just see if I can solo these two. Yeah, I can't. But yeah, as you can see in the rainy plugs, I call them rainy plugs, we also have this sort of melody going. So let's listen to this part. Okay, so let's go to the last part of this tutorial. We do get that effects, which you just heard. Adding a hat in, right? Also from PML. And the cello, right? The cello is from Suspiro Strings. This is a really cheap library, but it sounds amazing if you don't know it. And I use the vibrato here and the cold sustain, so not the warm but the cold one, again because I want this to be kind of very softly, you know, very softly, and it basically just supports the strings upstairs, right? So let's listen to that part again. So that's it. I hope you liked what I did. And yeah, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, comment, give me some more recommendations on what I should make a tutorial on. And check out Two Lanes, check out their music. It's very beautiful. So I'm a big fan of their work. And yeah, that's it, guys. All the best. Talk soon. And you know, sayonara. Hope you have a good day.